Astronaut Per Wimmer joins us now from London. He's had all the training, and he's also hoping to go on a space mission very soon, albeit a commercial one. Thanks so much for joining us, Per. I suppose for astronauts like yourself, you welcome this new space race and all the discovery it could bring, huh?
Absolutely. It has all the excitement of the Apollo era in the late 60s. It sort of reminds me about that historic period. Now it's Mars. It's not the moon, it's Mars. And it's interesting to see that all the countries are joining up. China, the US, and lately, 3 days ago, we had the UAE sending up their first probe to Mars. So everybody wants to be in on this. It is truly the new frontier. And it's truly a big leap forward for China here. And you got to commend China for this. Not only, they're going sort of full in on this mission. They're not only going to circumvent and around Mars, but they're actually also putting a probe down and a rover down. So this is sort of all in on the first go. So fingers crossed.
Right. I have to ask you maybe a slightly cynical question, if you don't mind. I mean, there are currently 6 spacecraft orbiting Mars, 3 American, 2 European, 1 Indian. NASA has 2 operational spacecraft on the surface. Is there any danger now that these could maybe collide, or even the potential for one nation to sabotage another's efforts there?
No, I don't think so. It's well understood where these various probes are and spacecrafts are, and it's highly unlikely that they would clash. We know exactly where they are. And in fact, when it comes to space collaboration, you would actually see there's an enormous amount of sharing of data, a lot of friendliness, a lot of peace in space, as it were. So if anything, we can probably learn a lot from the astronauts and from space collaboration here on planet Earth, where we seem to have a lot more conflicts, including between the US and China and other countries. We as astronauts, we collaborate, we work together, we coordinate schedules. When China did the latest mission to the moon, they were collaborating with the Russians. They had European equipment on board. NASA kindly shared some of the locations and helped them see the dark side of the moon. So, we collaborate, and I'm sure that's not going to be the issue. But going to Mars is a very big deal. Technically, there's been so many failed missions to Mars. So this is by no means a done deal. The stakes are high. And China is really going all in on this by also attempting to land there and staying there for 90 days. So it's going to be very interesting to watch. But well done, China. And so far, so good. They're off.
Yeah, it's funny to hear you say that they seem to get along better in outer space than they do here on Earth. But what do you hope actually any or all of these missions will find on Mars? What are the questions you're asking?
Well, a lot of the missions, including this Chinese mission and also the UAE mission, are going to do a lot of measurements on the atmosphere of Mars. I'm personally very interested in that. You might think this is a little bit boring, but actually, at one point, long time ago, Mars was a bit like planet Earth. It had oceans, lots and lots of things going on that we're familiar with here on Earth. But then something happened that took the equivalent of the ozone layer away from Mars, and therefore it got hit by solar flares and stuff, and therefore you have this very barren and red-looking planet today. It would be interesting to see what caused that, and we could learn that from planet Earth, which arguably is later in the queue or more behind. And if anything, we should probably be more conscious about protecting the ozone layer, because that's really the equivalent that got killed on Mars and made it the sort of void planet that it is today.
Fair enough. I've got one last minute with you. So I wanted to ask you personally, I mean, you venture out mostly on commercial missions. That is an industry that's come a long way. What are you hoping to do next as far as commercial exploration of outer space goes?
Oh, we want to explore. We want to, push the boundaries of what's possible for normal people such as myself. And by doing so, and by involving private enterprise, by bringing in capital, we're lowering the cost for going into space. We saw that with SpaceX as well more recently when they sent the 2 first NASA astronauts up into the International Space Station. So private enterprise has a lot to help with here. And the amount of capital that's gone into the space sector in the past 3 years is bigger than what has gone in the past 10 years. So there's a lot of excitement here. Private enterprise has a big role to play. But when it comes to the big missions to Mars, it's still in the realm of governments, and we certainly need that help. So we all need to work together to explore and to learn more, which can hopefully benefit the protection of this very, very precious place we have called planet Earth.
Right. Okay, Per Wimmer, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for being with us from London. We appreciate it.